Well, hello, retro game players. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Marcus, and today we're going to be talking about a very cool event that I was able to attend here in Portland, Oregon. And it was the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses. It was something that was sold out here in town, and it was insane. I was not expecting this, but my wife got us tickets to go to this, and it happened to fall on our wedding anniversary, which was even more special. And it's basically something that I thought was sort of going to be like low budget. Honestly, I had no expectations walking into this thing. I just assumed that it was like a Portland local symphony playing songs from Zelda, and I've been to a few, local productions of, the Portland Symphony, and I'm not saying that they're bad at all. They're great. But I'm just saying, like, I was expecting kind of more low budget. Well, we roll in there, and I'll tell you what, the wait was insane. And I don't mean the wait for tickets because we had purchased those, or she had got us tickets, but just getting in line to get them from the box office was absolutely huge. And it was weird. It was like, I was surprised even 3 weeks before this event how it had sold out, and I was like, whoa, that sold out like in a couple days. And there was some other tickets like that were really high end, I think, that may have been available, but we weren't springing for those. Anyway, I just kind of gave up on it. I was like, well, probably won't attend it, not a big deal. But when we were there, I mean, it was absolutely packed, and I didn't see any open seats. If there were, they just weren't around me. And there were so many people out in the line and in front of the Keller Auditorium, which is in Portland, and including a guy who, locally known, is basically this guy who rides around on a unicycle and wears a Darth Vader helmet and plays the bagpipes. And so he's known as like the unicycler or something like that. I'm not really sure. But he was in attendance dressed up as Link, playing bagpipes that would shoot flames. And I tried to get some photos of that, but it was absolutely awesome. I actually think I saw him at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo in that same outfit as well, which is pretty cool. So he was there rolling around, while people were waiting. And so we get inside, though, finally get inside, and it's packed. And there's people, full on like cosplay stuff. I mean, dressed up as Ganon and Zelda. And I mean, it was absolutely insane how many people were there. So when it started, I immediately thought it was like kind of what I expected, because they showed this video of like kind of like time lapse of Zelda games, and it started out early, and then it kind of was like all over the place, and they were just kind of playing, and it was on, they had a projector shooting in the middle of the screen. I just thought, okay, this is what I was expecting. It's not like insane, but I don't know what happened, but it was like the lights dimmed, and maybe the conductor came out, and I don't know, I'm not really sure what happened. It was kind of like I was just not really ready for, the whole experience. But as soon as they launched into their first couple songs and pieces, I was like blown away. And suddenly the projector was matching really the themes of each song that they were playing. And oh my God, it was so cool. And then they would have cuts where like Miyamoto himself would show up and start talking about the development of the game. And just various people that were had something to do with the Legend of Zelda and the making of it, and it was just really awesome. And it turned out that it was pretty much an official Nintendo thing, and also that this symphony is like a world symphony. So anyway, they were awesome. They had a full choir going on, and I mean, there were so many times where, I mean, they started out and they played even the old. They didn't go as far back as the original Nintendo, but they showed clips from it and stuff, and they would play some little themes, but they really like would do like a whole game. Like they would do Ocarina of Time, and then they would do, you know, Link to the Past, which was just so awesome. And when they started to do like the boss fight with Ganon from Link to the Past, I mean, I won't lie, I was like tearing up, man. It was like these emotions of playing those games and battling, you know, those bosses. I mean, it just brought me back, and hearing it like in full like concert was just something that blew me away. And I really would encourage anybody, if they have an opportunity to go see something like this, to do it, because it was absolutely one of the coolest experiences for video gaming. I mean, as far as hearing the music and having it just be so in your face. And the music from Majora's Mask was insanely cool. I mean, and they showed like the moon crashing and just how ominous it was and how it built up. And I mean, just talking about it seriously is giving me the chills. Like, I'm for real just reminiscing that. I was able to capture some audio, and I'm gonna, you know, play that. That's what you've been hearing. But obviously, it's not that great a quality. You have to see this in person if you can. Sadly, it was pretty expensive. I mean, my ticket, I don't know, 49 bucks. It's a lot of money, man. And I have this thing where I actually, for the last like even 10 years here in Portland, really have an issue paying more than 25 bucks for a concert, and even 15 in a lot of cases. Some of my favorite bands will come through town, and I'll just skip it if it's too much money. There are some exceptions, obviously, but I would never pay like $150, you know, for Paul McCartney or something crazy, or whoever it is. I just wouldn't do that. And some of my favorite bands, when they come through and they only charge 15 or 17, I'm like so happy to do that, and, you know, buy a t-shirt and, you know, support them. In this case, obviously, you know, it was Zelda, and you know, my wife knew how awesome that was for me, and so it made a really good gift. Also, they had some swag, and I could not pass it up. I am wearing the shirt, you know, right here. So this was the shirt that was available. I'll get a better shot of that for you guys. And, you know, there was a lot of other weird stuff. So I'll just show you a couple things here. This is the actual, what they call the program, I think. And so this shows like pictures, and I'll you know, show you guys this. But it just talks about, you know, the different people that were involved, and it's very high quality. And I guess this is something that, you know, people who go to the symphony a lot will have the opportunity to buy the program, and it is very cool. It's you know, talks about, you know, the different history, and then the program, and how it actually does tell you, like, you know, the boss battles and all this stuff. And so it's very cool. Talks about the conductor. So yeah, this is something that I'm really stoked to have. You know, that's awesome. Another thing that I got, which I think is a little bizarre, is this little calendar, and it looks like a CD. It honestly looks like a little CD, sort of. But yeah, it's a calendar, and it's for 2015 and for 2016. It's sealed. I'm struggling with whether I should open it or not, honestly. I'm not going to use it, and it's just kind of cool to have, so I'll probably keep it sealed. But yeah, so there's that. And then there's this massive poster, which I will not be able to show in my frame, but I'll show a good pan of it. But there it is, and you can see it's just massive. I'll go ahead and just show a cut of it. But I've got a few of these really awesome Zelda posters. Actually, one of them that's sitting behind me out of frame is a Wind Waker poster that my friend Sean gave me. So Sean, if you're watching, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That poster's been there for a long time, and it's one of my favorites. That was another thing. They played the music from Wind Waker as well. And yeah, I don't know, man. It was one of the best things I've been to lately, and I do think that it was absolutely worth the cost of admission. It was really cool, and it was cool to see the video up there. And I'm telling you, like, the whole place was emotional on some of these songs. I mean, there was a lady in front of me and she was probably in her 50s, and she was like just tearing up like crazy, and like there was two guys like sitting down just to the left of me, and they were losing it, and they were trying to not act like they were crying. I mean, it was just it was intense. I mean, it was like, what the hell is going on here? But the music really was awesome, and of course, like, you know, if you've played Majora's Mask, you know what that's like. And they even played Skyward Sword, which I thought was really interesting, and, you know, played some of those themes. And so anyway, I just wanted to talk about that and show you guys some of the stuff that I picked up from it. And again, highly encourage you to see it if you can. So until next time, you know what to do. Keep that shit retro by watching some old symphonies of The Legend of Zelda. Later on.